everybody. Welcome back to the Routine Podcast.
Gymnastics Conversations.
I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Chelsea's mom, Diana.
And we're back for episode 84.
Still in quarantine. I think we had a really amazing week last week.
In terms of what?
Every day was a beautiful day. The weather was great. Food was great.
So you had a good birthday.
That's exactly right. It was a great birthday week. And each day was, more exciting than the rest. On my actual birthday, Chelsea fixed me dinner.
We actually got a tweet.
Yeah?
From Katie, and she said, "Happy birthday, Diana. Have a great day. Hope you get your cake."
And I did, Katie. Okay, so again, we talk about German chocolate cake. That's my favorite cake. Chelsea made this cake. Normally, my son's fiance makes my cake for me. But again, because we're quarantined, nobody could come over. So that meant Chelsea had to make the cake.
Mm-hmm. And as you guys remember, there was no flour in sight.
No. Chelsea got a bag of flour from 7-Eleven. And she told me at about, I guess it was like 6 or 7 that night, you need to go away because I just need the kitchen and I need to focus. Mm-hmm. And so I did, went away.
Which was kind of hard because that was also the same night that the 2012 Olympics was re-airing. So we didn't get to watch it together.
No, Chelsea was downstairs baking and I was upstairs watching the Olympics.
The funny part is, which I don't even know if you know, but you probably do, is that I was also scheduled to Zoom with my friends. And so we didn't start Zooming until is Zooming a verb?
It is now.
Okay, well, we didn't start Zooming until 8 o'clock. And of course, my friends, they all like to talk. So we didn't end up finishing Zoom until 10:30, 11. So I didn't get started until 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, so I thought maybe they were watching you bake while you Zoomed.
I was going to do that, but I knew if I did that, I would mess up somewhere, and I just couldn't take that chance.
You needed to focus. Yeah. So you started baking 10 o'clock, 10, 11.
Yeah.
This recipe that she had never seen before.
Yeah.
So it's German chocolate. And you know how you can get the store-bought German chocolate cake and it's really dry? This German chocolate cake, and I have no idea what the ingredients are, but it's like a brownie, but not as deep or not as
fudgy.
Not as fudgy.
Yeah.
And it's also German chocolate, so it's a different type of chocolate too. So she baked the cakes and then went to bed at what time?
2:30. Because not only did I have to make the cake, I also had to make the frosting. But it was worth it. Because I actually enjoy cooking and baking if it's in the right environment. So I had my noise canceling headphones on and I was just cooking up a storm.
What were you listening to?
I listened to The Internet. I don't know if people have heard of them.
Oh,
They're
it's a group?
Yeah, they're called The Internet.
Okay.
But it's chill music. That's the type of music I listen to.
Okay, so you were baking my cake and listening to chill music.
Mm-hmm. And look at the masterpiece that came out of it.
Oh, guys, this cake that Chelsea made, it was beautiful. I'm going to put a picture of Chelsea's cake on the member page so that you can take a look at it. But it was perfectly even. The pecans she placed artistically on the cake with 3 little pecans in the center. And the taste was amazing.
So because this is a gymnastics podcast, what would you rate it out of 10?
It was a 10.
10 out of 10?
It was a 10.
Wow.
It was a 10. And then on Sunday, which is, the very end of my birthday week, my son and my son's fiance, they came over. We met outside and we stayed 6 feet apart. And they just came to wish me a happy birthday. And that was nice. And then they left. And then lastly, then I'm going to stop talking about my birthday.
Go ahead, Mom.
Chelsea sent me a voicemail message that we received for my birthday from one of our listeners.
Can we play it?
We can, but I just have to say, it really almost made me cry.
I was getting teary-eyed, and it wasn't even my birthday.
The fact that this message was sent, and the love in which it was sent, and just listening to it, it really was very emotional for me. And that was the culmination of my birthday. But here we go.
Hi, Chelsea and Diana. I loved your interview with Maddie Carr. She's so wise and gave great perspective on her career. I also think for your 100th episode, it would be amazing to do another mother daughter interview. And now for Diana, my husband and I have a very special message. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Diana. Happy birthday to you.
Yay!
Kenty Mac.
And Patrick.
Oh my gosh.
Can we play it one more time, Chelsea?
Sure.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Diana. Happy birthday to you.
But isn't that the most beautiful happy birthday message?
Oh my gosh. So good.
Chelsea clipped it for me and sent it to me so that every year I can play this message from Kent and Patrick singing to me on my birthday.
Yeah.
How special.
So cool.
And so beautiful.
Yeah.
Also, Kent mentioned that he'd love us to do a mother-daughter interview for our 100th episode, which I think is also a fabulous idea. Mm-hmm. He sent me an email with some ideas of who he thinks we should interview. So one of them was Sabrina Vega and her mom.
The Gymternet has also thrown in some ideas. We got Rachel Gowie and her sisters.
If you decide to do sisters, then you could do Alyssa and Rachel.
We got Kaja Hislop from UNC and her father, who I didn't know was a professional soccer player.
Yeah.
Maggie and Gina Nichols. So there's just like endless possibilities, and I think that's such a good idea.
I do too. So we're definitely going to try to do that. And I think it's perfect to do it as our 100th episode. So again, Kent and Patrick, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks for celebrating my birthday with me and helping me conclude it on Sunday with the beautiful voicemail message that you left me.
But speaking of comments, we got a lot of comments. Today's just like a jam-packed episode, and it feels so good because you guys probably, I don't know if you noticed, but Mom and I, since season has ended, it's been a lot harder to gather a bunch of topics to discuss. But lately, like, things have just been coming our way. So.
Well, I think it was not only just the topics. That clearly was one piece of it, but I think more it was the adjustment of season coming to an end so abruptly. Mm-hmm. So we were really trying to deal with both at the same time.
But we got a comment from Melissa on our episode about the University of Alabama seniors. And she said, "Hi, Chelsea and Diana. Well, here we are, another week in quarantine. And again, I looked forward to your podcast. It is great to hear you're both doing well and spending the time together. I really enjoyed the discussion on the Alabama team as I agree they were very strong this season. I think their seniors were very great leaders and the team will miss them. I agree with Chelsea on Maddie Desch and her full routine with that great pass that seems to go on forever. Dana as their coach is so inspirational hearing her speak. Thanks again for great content and look forward to hearing about Denver. Stay safe in quarantine. Melissa."
Thank you, Melissa, for thinking about us in this quarantine situation, but also really great comments about Alabama and Dana and also about Maddie. So thank you. And speaking of Denver, Chelsea, we actually got another voicemail, and this one's from Elizabeth.
Hi, Chelsea and Diana. This is Elizabeth from Denver. Thanks for the great episode with Maddie Carr. Maddie has definitely left an impression on the program that will be felt for years, and rightfully so. She's an incredible woman, and I'm so excited for her future. But then also, Chelsea and Diana, I wanted to say good luck to Chelsea with the handstand challenge. Learning a handstand in and of itself without putting on clothes or taking clothes off is hard. So good luck. Can't wait to see hopefully at least a picture that shows you can do it when you're ready, Chelsea. And then happy birthday, Diana. I hope you have a great birthday week or month. Keep up the podcast, guys. I love it.
I love our listeners.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
I mean, they give us such moral support,
I know.
right? And we need it, so it's so wonderful.
Hopefully, I have something to show for my handstand progress. Every day is a new challenge.
I think you have something to show now. I just don't think you are ready to show it, which is okay. Elizabeth said, when you're ready.
She did.
She said, when you're ready.
She did. So, I'll keep you updated. I'm glad you all liked Maddie's interview. I think Mom and I were just blown away when we spoke to her. Literally, how she sounded in the interview was how she was when she talked to us. It was very little editing for that interview. And she was just so mature, like way beyond her years.
Every answer.
Yeah.
And literally, when she talked about, already being hired at a place, I thought, and that's really who I want to hire, right? I hire people. I'd love to hire Maddie Carr.
Right? Yeah. So cool. But in addition to the fantastic birthday weekend we had, the virtual Flippin' 5K also happened.
Yes, it did. That was on Saturday. I
Yeah.
think it was. Yeah. Okay.
But Mom and I were actually invited to chat during the live stream.
We were.
Which was so cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Randy, for thinking of us.
So Randy Lane, you guys remember Randy Lane? We've done interviews with Randy before. He invited us to be a part of the Flipping 5K. We attended last year.
As guests.
And then Randy asked us to be a part of the festivities this year, virtually.
Yeah.
And we got to be a part of it with one of our favorite gymnasts.
Yes.
One of our favorite all-time gymnasts.
Alicia Boren.
Yes.
Which was so much fun. First of all, Mom and I, we had no idea what to expect. But once, lights, camera, action, we were rolling.
We were live.
Yeah. It was as soon as we waved to Alicia, we were just in our element.
Yeah. When we talked to Alicia last year, hopefully remember that episode. And it's like we picked up right where we left off. Hey, how you doing? Yeah. And she asked, about us, and we asked about her mom and her dad, and it was a fun time.
Yeah. So overall, there were over 5,500 participants for the Flippin' 5K.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, and it was so cool because all day the WCGA Gym Twitter account was just retweeting everyone that was doing the 5K. So it was a nice coming together moment for college gymnastics fans worldwide.
Well, and I remember when we talked to Randy probably midweek about this. And at that point, he was thrilled with the numbers, and it was 2,500.
Yeah.
So in that very short amount of time, they more than doubled the number of participants.
Yeah. So awesome job, Randy and his team. I know you all are really happy with the results. So can we talk about fan favorites now?
Yeah,
We've been
you've
waiting
been
for this
wanting to do
moment.
this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm ready, and I got my list, Chelsea.
Do you?
I do. It's on a napkin here, so let me get my napkin out.
So for those of you who don't know, every year we do this episode called Fan Favorites, where our listeners get to vote and share which routines during the season were their favorites. We made it so our listeners could vote on Twitter. You could also email us or comment on our website which routines were your favorites. So I'm excited to share this year's results. The first question was your favorite vault of the 2020 season. And I listed Taylor Houchin from Nebraska, Kim Tesson from Utah, and Kaya Johnson from LSU.
And then there was other.
Yes. And the winner, with 53% of the votes.
We don't want to say who we picked first?
Should we? I think that's backwards.
I think so. No, because then we can know whether or not we... In other words, ours is just another vote like everybody else.
Okay.
And then you can give the results.
Okay, so do you want to go first?
Yes, I picked Kennedy Edney.
From LSU.
From LSU. Not because she ever stuck her vault. She did sometimes, but not a lot.
Yeah, she did.
Well, okay. So not because she stuck her vault all the time.
She did when it counted.
She always did when it counted.
Okay. Give her that credit.
When it came to nationals, she always did. But I chose Kennedy because of her run down the vault runway.
Yeah, she could run.
And it was like she was getting ready to pole vault over the vault. Right? So anyhow, that's why I picked Kennedy as my favorite for vault.
I picked Drew Watson from Auburn because she, this year, more times than not, I would say she stuck her vault.
And it's a 1.5?
Yeah. And I feel like the majority of the times when she stuck her vault, she was almost a little bit surprised.
Oh, so what's her reaction afterwards?
Yeah. But I feel like she's one of those under the radar gymnasts that doesn't get as much attention as she deserves, but I think she's very talented.
Okay. So then the winner, in looking at the results,
was Taylor Houchen with 53% of the votes.
Wow.
Which to me, I don't think is that surprising because Taylor is an amazing vaulter. Her form is always impeccable, and her technique is just unmatched.
Well, it may not be surprising, but the next closest one was at like 27%.
Yeah.
So she won handedly.
Yeah, she did. But we got to mention some honorable mentions. Kyla Ross, of course. I mean, Kyla Ross. And then also Kendall Poston from UCLA. I think people really enjoyed that. She doesn't do the typical Yurchenko entry vault. And she's seen a really large improvement. Number 2.
Yep.
Favorite bar routine of the season.
I chose Helen Hu from Missouri. I think her bar routine is incredibly gorgeous and elegant, and it's as if she's flying through the air gracefully.
Yeah, she is really, really beautiful. I chose Emily Mullenhop from Boise State just because she's so aggressive and dynamic on bars, and every routine is like a carbon copy of the previous, so I think that just shows her incredible talent. But we listed Maddie Carr, Emily Mullenhop, and Savannah Shane here.
Oh, I forgot about Savannah.
You can't forget about Savannah.
No, I might change my vote. Is it too late?
You want to change it?
No.
Okay, well, it doesn't really matter because Savannah won.
She does have a beautiful...
Oh my
Did she get a
gosh.
10 yet?
No, but she's so close.
Oh, she's got to be. You remember we did the interview with her last year. She said that was her number one goal, was to get a 10 on bars. Remember?
She's so close. It's gonna happen. I know it will.
It really is.
Some honorable mentions. Kyla Ross, of course. I think she's just everyone's honorable mention for everything, everywhere. And then Danelle Pedrick from CMU. So, good job to everyone.
Absolutely.
And then number 3, your favorite beam routine of the season. We listed Luisa Blanco from Alabama, Lexi Ramler from University of Minnesota, and Helen Hu from Mizzou.
Okay, so for beam for me, I actually chose Alexis Vasquez from Denver.
Good vote. Really good vote.
She's got several 10s this year, and it's just a beautiful beam routine.
I chose Kiana George from Cal. Similar to Emily on bars, Kiana is just so aggressive and confident on beam, which I think for the Cal lineup is really important because, you know, Cal's beam lineup was a little shaky this year, but they could always depend on Kiana. So should we reveal the results?
Yes.
With 44% of the votes, Helen Hu.
She won. Wow.
That's not surprising to me. Helen, oh my gosh.
It is. It's
The originality,
Yeah.
the uniqueness.
The difficulty.
Yeah. As a freshman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So congratulations, Helen. Some honorable mentions, which I think you'll appreciate, Mom. Grace Glenn.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because she got that 10-0
Yes.
in the leadoff spot. And Rachel Gowie.
I almost voted for Rachel. And I
did.
almost voted for Grace. There's so many beautiful beam routines.
There are.
That was a hard one.
This one also was a hard one, at least for me.
For floor?
Yeah. Favorite floor
It was
routine.
not hard for me at all.
Okay, well, let me list what we said. Margzetta Frazier, Milan Clausi from Cal, and Sabrina Vega from University of Georgia.
Which is why this was not hard for me. I clearly chose Sabrina Vega as my favorite floor routine.
Of
Especially her
course.
new one this year.
Yeah.
So good.
So good. I chose Taylor Houchen because that floor routine, it just is seared in my mind, and it's just so beautiful. And I'm sad that I wasn't able to see it at Nationals this year. And I will never forgive the NCAA for that. I'm just kidding. But But the winner, with 47% of the votes, was Margzetta Frazier. Which is incredible because she only got to do like 3 routines before
Yeah.
she got injured.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I just find it so interesting that the normal folks we think we'd see in the fan favorites, like Trinity Thomas, Maggie Nichols.
Well, honorable mentions.
Okay.
Trinity Thomas,
Okay.
Sydney Solosky from Utah, and Andrea Maldonado from Iowa State. So floor was definitely the most wide array of gymnasts because floor is just so subjective.
It is, and it's also so individual and so creative. So you really get the chance to have more than one fan favorite when it comes to floor.
So number 5, I don't like this question, but favorite gymnast of the 2020 season. And for this, just to make it easy, I just listed the top 3. Maggie Nichols, Trinity Thomas, and Kyla Ross. Your favorite, Mom?
I was Maggie.
Maggie?
I love Maggie, and I'm going to so miss watching Maggie Nichols.
Yeah.
I think it's ever since we saw her doing warm-ups at one of the nationals.
Our first nationalist.
Yeah, and just watching her warm up. And, obviously she does what she does when she's on an event. This time she was on bars. But then in between time, she's dancing the whole time. But it's like a Maggie dance. Like UCLA, like everybody's dancing and we're dancing together. Maggie's just kind of shrugging her shoulders and doing her own little dance.
Yeah.
Like in her own little world.
You know what made me think of Maggie recently? We were watching the Michael Jordan documentary and how it was like no thing to him just to be good
That's
at
right.
basketball.
Yeah, that's right.
It's so similar to Maggie
Yeah.
where it's just like, well, all right, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then she just crushes everyone.
It's the mental toughness and the ability to know that they can.
Yeah. My favorite was Kaya Johnson because I
Really?
feel like she really, if she was not on LSU's team this year, I think it would have been just not great. And I don't think she got enough credit this year.
I do. I think she did. I think she got a lot of credit, and I think everybody knew just what you said, that without Kaya, it was going to be really tough for LSU.
But also, as a freshman, and again, I know we should eradicate that sentence, but as a freshman, she competed like she was upperclassman.
She did.
When we saw her at Florida, you would have no idea that she was a freshman. Yeah, so Kaya was my favorite just because, clap it up for her. She really pushed herself this year. But the winner, and it was kind of a landslide, and I thought it was going to be closer, but I mean, everybody loves Kyla Ross.
Yes.
Kyla Ross, the boss.
It's
51% of the votes.
And it's been interesting watching Kyla now, but we've also been watching, like you said, the Olympics. When she was such a
Baby Kyla.
Baby Kyla.
You could tell she didn't have a clue what was going on.
No, but to just see the growth and the maturity and the woman that she became.
Yeah.
It's beautiful to see.
We didn't get to talk about our thoughts of NBC re-airing the Olympics.
Yeah, that's real tough.
We could talk about that maybe next episode, but Mom and I have feelings about that.
We can't be the only ones.
No, I don't think so either.
We cannot be the only ones that, as you said, we'll talk about it in maybe another episode, but it was almost painful to watch the Olympics.
It was tough.
To watch the rerun of the Olympics and to now know all the things we know.
Yeah.
And watching Marta Karoli and the reaction to her.
Everything being so choreographed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to celebrate what has been done. And these are like incredible accomplishments, but they're forever tainted by USAG.
And it wasn't just that for me, although clearly that was a lot. It was watching the Russian team and the young ladies crying. It was watching the Chinese team and these young ladies. And you just thought to yourself, at what cost? At what cost for these medals? Hopefully we've learned. Hopefully as a society we have learned. I know, we have been preaching that from an NCAA perspective. Hopefully we are all smarter and wiser, and our next Olympics, we don't treat our athletes the way we treated these athletes.
I think the fact that we are able to acknowledge that it doesn't sit right with us when we watch these reruns, because at the time we were watching the 2012 Olympics and being like, oh, get over it, like just get back on the beam. Oh,
We were,
whatever.
yay, USA, yay.
We won. It doesn't matter what it took to get there.
Yeah.
But I think now that we're able to reflect and be like, those aren't correct feelings to have.
No.
At least me and you have learned from the experience.
Yes, we
hopefully everyone else has.
Yeah,
as well.
and you would have thought, based on what you went through in the sport, we would have had a little bit more transparency or understanding while we were watching. But I can tell you, back then I did not.
No. I think because we all thought the only way to win is to go through that process.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. We didn't know any better.
Yeah.
We didn't as a society know any better, but we should have. Mm-hmm. And again, like I said, it's not just USA. It was really watching Russia, watching China. I mean, it was just watching the level of pressure that these athletes were under. And then, of course, they always show the parents as well. Watching the level of pressure that the parents are undergoing on behalf of their children. Yeah, it was tough. It was really tough. So,
anyways.
Yeah, we were going to talk about it later, but I guess we just talked about it now.
Favorite team of the 2020 season, which I don't think this is really, maybe I guess it is, but Florida won by a landslide.
They should have. And we all picked Florida because we know
what could have been.
That's right. That out of all the teams that got gypped,
Florida
got gypped.
56% of the votes. But honorable mentions, because UCLA, they got that strong fan base, so there were a lot of people that commented UCLA.
They do.
Favorite team Leo of the 2020 season? We listed Cal, Michigan State, and Utah. My favorite was Cal, because Cal just had a soft spot in my heart this year.
They always have.
But this one was kind of close. 39% of the votes went to Utah. They had a lot of great Leos this year. I think the Utah Red just really stood out this year. Mm-hmm. But also honorable mentions UCLA. I think UCLA this year stepped their game up. And then last question, favorite routine podcast of this season.
This one was a hard one for me.
It was a hard one from our listeners too. One got 47% and another got 48%.
So it's really a tie.
Yeah. What was your answer?
It was the interview with Kathy Johnson Clark, and I really enjoyed doing that interview. Most importantly, I loved hearing Kathy talk about her son. Mm. Just hearing the pure joy of just listening to her talk about her son and their relationship. I really like that.
Yeah. Mine was Florida versus LSU.
Oh, when we went on the road trip.
Yeah. And it was our listener's favorite as well.
Oh, that's the one that got 48.
Yeah.
48%.
But Kathy got 47, so she was right up there with everyone else.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Good.
So that's our fan favorites this year.
The 2020 fan favorites.
Yeah, it's not saying that, whatever. We're not going to dwell on the past.
It was, again, we're learning from the past, and it was a great season. Mm-hmm. And we're going to try to be like Maddie. Try to be like Maddie Carr. We're going to be very mature about this. Mm-hmm. It was a great season.
Yes. So now for this week's Senior Spotlight, we're going to talk about Seattle Pacific University and their 4 seniors. We got a little help this week from our good friend from College Gym News, Rebecca, because why not have Rebecca again? She's just so knowledgeable and makes us excited about teams that we don't know a lot about.
Yeah, I was going to say, more important than anything else, she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, she's like an encyclopedia.
Yeah.
So this week we are honoring Sienna, Darian, Miyuki, and Lena.
So we are thrilled that we are joined with Rebecca from College Gym News. Hi, Rebecca.
Hello. Good to hear from you.
How are you?
Just in my apartment.
Right. Although, this quarantine thing is evolving. Things are getting better. We're getting more used to it, and there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. I know I am at the point where I have started researching next year's freshmen a whole bunch.
That's a good idea.
That is a good idea.
Hey, did you happen to, this was about a month ago now, they had the SEC championship from last year. Did you happen to watch that on ESPN?
I didn't, but I have been watching a bunch of old stuff recently.
Yeah. I'm still hoping, and I haven't seen this yet, I'm still hoping that they'll do last year's Nationals. I think that would be perfect for ESPN to run again.
Yeah.
You did such a good job for us on the University of Alaska. We wanted to have you back because you can give us some information about Seattle Pacific.
Awesome.
So, how many seniors are we talking about?
We have 4 seniors at Seattle Pacific, and they are all super awesome.
All right, tell us what you know.
First off, this was a really remarkable year for SPU as a whole. They had a new head coach, and I really think that it changed kind of the vibe of the team so much. They had really, really amazing results. She was an assistant coach before. Her name's Sarah Jean Marshall. And then the assistant coach is a name you might remember. It's Katiana McMillan.
Yeah, from Oregon State.
Yes. You know, the results and kind of the momentum they were building up through the end of this year was just fantastic. It's a team that I really feel could have accomplished something really great in postseason, unfortunately.
And you really think that's a tribute to the new coach and the assistant coach?
It seems that way to me. We'll know more in a couple of years. You know, sometimes a good year just happens by itself. But
Sure. All right, so there are 4 seniors.
yes.
Who do you want to start with?
The senior whose name most people probably know is Darian Burns. And she competed the all-around for the bulk of her career. She is the defending USAG National All-Around Champion. But really, floor is her zone. I was lucky enough to go to a whole bunch of SPU meets when I lived in Seattle. You know, she's the kind of tumbler where you feel the floor shake. Those are always really fun, to be down on the floor and just kind of bounce.
She's got that much power.
Yes, she's fantastic. So she got her career high on floor at her senior night, which was a 9.925. She's somebody who could go 9.85 or above as often as not on floor. And you know, really amazing on all 4 of her events.
And did it look like a 9925 routine, or was it just a senior night 9925 routine?
No, I will send you that video. It made me cry a little, honestly.
It was that good.
Yeah, it was spectacular. And, you know, the teammate reactions at the end of a routine that everybody knows was magic. It's just so special.
Oh, I definitely want to see that. Yeah, send us that link.
Yes, she is amazing. She very much could have defended her all-around title this year, I think. Then next we have Miyuki Matsune, who has always been a favorite of mine because she just has the brightest smile when she's competing. That was the first thing that stood out to me about her. But something that I thought was really cool about Miyuki is that I believe 2 years ago, she competed for a lot of the season with one of her hands in a cast. She did a beam routine where she didn't touch the beam, but it looked like it could have been a broken wrist or something.
Wow.
She actually competed with a cast.
Yep.
That's dedication.
Yes, I believe this is her sophomore year, and she only fell once all season. When she's really on fire, she does bars, beam, and floor. It's just so fun because her presentation is so special. And then we have Lena Worth, who has always been a favorite of mine because she does a vault with a 10.0 start.
Oh, she does.
Yes. So she does a front handspring double twist vault, which there's one at Ball State that I know made the loop around Gymternet Twitter last year, but there are a couple of them in the USAG division. It's such an inconsistent landing. It's such a scary thing because you are twisting so fast in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very easy thing to lose control of that landing, but she was nailing it all season.
And can you remember what her high score was, Rebecca?
This year, I think she topped out at a 9.8, and I believe she's also a pre-med as well. They all talk about her as the genius one on that team.
Wow.
So she's an athlete and smart.
Oh, yeah. And then we have Sienna Brain as the 4th senior, who, again, she has done a couple events in and out through her career, but I really think of her as a bars girl. She's very reliable. Seattle Pacific is a team that has been through some bars challenges on and off over the last few years, and she's always somebody who they could lean on to hold it together.
All right, Rebecca, anything else you want to share with us about Seattle Pacific, or anything else you want to share with us about gymnastics or with our listeners?
I have been doing a lot of freshman work recently, and I just want to say that I think that Seattle Pacific's freshman class is super duper cool, and they could be in a very good place next year.
So that's the team to watch so far, huh?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of the MPSF is in a really happy place. UC Davis only graduated one gymnast this year, and brings on a freshman class of like 6. With a gymnast who got a perfect 10 in level 10 this year is going to UC Davis.
Perfect 10 at level 10 club.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
and what event? Do you remember or do you know?
Vaults, yes. Her name's Emma Otsu. She's a freaking beast. I'm so excited for her.
A 10 vault and club.
Yes. She actually competed junior elite, just one meet, but at one point she competed internationally for Japan.
Okay.
Wow.
At some point, once we finish celebrating the seniors, which we're obviously going to continue to take the time to do, we should talk to you about freshmen.
I would love that.
Yeah, and that's going to help all of us kind of turn the corner.
Yes, I hope so. And remember to be excited and happy again.
Yeah, exactly. I think we'll continue to do what we're doing, continue to celebrate the seniors, but at the appropriate time, we're going to look to the future. Rebecca,
Perfect.
thank you so much for helping us
you.
get through all this. And really, thanks for sharing your knowledge and giving the seniors the shout out that they all deserve.
Thank you. I am happy to get to talk about them. I have a lot of people, especially with these smaller teams, that I wish more people knew about. So it's always a great day when I have an opportunity to chat about them.
Thank you, Rebecca,
you.
so much.
Thank you. Bye.
So thank you, Rebecca, so much for giving us that information. It's always wonderful talking to you.
And thanks for joining us on the show this season. You've been a breath of fresh air, and you've been there for Mom and I when we've exhausted all of our research knowledge.
And Chelsea, before we say goodbye to everybody, we just want to remind folks that College Gym News is your one-stop shop for all things college gymnastics. For event coverage, leotard rankings, in-depth features, fantasy gymnastics resources, and more, visit collegegymnews.com.
And if you're interested in supporting CGN's expanding coverage, visit collegegymnews.com/donate.
College Gym News, all the college gymnastics news you want, all in one place. What a fun episode, Chels.
Yeah, I feel like I just ran a marathon. I
From-
feel like I just ran the flippin' 5K again.
From the Kenty Mac song to the best wishes on your handstands from Elizabeth,
To fan favorites.
and talking about Seattle Pacific and celebrating their seniors. Been fun.
Although we've come to the end
We have got to stop singing to our listeners
I got inspired by Kent.
because they're going to not. Can you imagine Patrick and Kent singing that song?
No.
No, we're not. But they would be good.
No, the reason I'm singing that song is because we only have a couple more episodes of this.
Oh, so that's why we're at the end of the road. Not that we're at the end of the road for this show, but they're
Well, we are.
but we're at the end of the road for this season,
The first part of this season.
not the summer series.
Yeah. As you guys know, actually, usually right after Nationals, we have a hard stop for a couple of weeks before we get into our summer series. So, I'm not sure how many more episodes we have, but it's not a lot more.
We're getting close.
We are.
But we also always ask people to give us ideas on who they want us to talk to. Just a reminder, our summer series is when we do these in-depth interviews with folks. So they're usually like 40, 45 minutes long. So give some thoughts to who you'd want to hear from.
It could be coaches, gymnasts, former gymnasts, parents, therapists, doctors. We've had the whole works on the show.
Yeah, it's just anybody that you'd really like to have a better understanding of what they do and why they do it and why it's important to gymnastics. Make sure you let us know, and you can let us know by
Tweeting us. Our Twitter is @routinepodcast, or you can email us at info@theroutinepodcast.com, or you can leave us a voicemail on our website, theroutinepodcast.com.
And you do that by going to the episode that you're most interested in. At the very top, you're going to see a microphone and something that says voicemail. Click that. You're going to see a microphone. Click the microphone and leave us your voicemail message.
And if you like today's episode or any of our episodes this season, be sure to give us 5 stars on the Apple Podcast app. It really helps us out. And we got a couple of new members this week.
Yay. I think it was that Maddie Carr interview.
I know, right? You couldn't not hear more of it.
Right. And it's really good. And we're continuing to populate that member section of the website, trying to convince Chelsea into letting us put video on the website of Chelsea doing the handstand.
This isn't like home video. Like...
Either that or I could do Chelsea on her new skateboard.
Hey, I have taught myself, guys, and I still don't have a helmet, so pat on the back for me.
Yay, Chelsea. But anything we do, I have to get Chelsea's permission before I can put that on the site.
Oh my gosh, you make me sound like such a diva.
Well, she is a diva. But for me, I put stuff on there all the time, and so I'm going to put a picture of my birthday cake on the member side so that people can see that beautiful cake Chelsea made for me. I'm actually going to also put the Kent and Patrick song on the website.
Oh, that's a good idea.
On the member page so that folks can continue to listen to that because I think it's so beautiful.
And to become a member, go to our website and on the Support Us tab, there are 3 levels that you can sign up for: general admission, front row seat, and box seat. And those are 3 different ways that you can support us.
And 2 of those ways, you'll get a routine podcast bag. It's the black classic bag or the white canvas bag.
And again, the black bag has been selling like hotcakes. I'm telling you.
And again, no one's picked the white bag yet. That's okay.
Okay, can we wrap up this episode? We've
Yes,
been here for a minute
I
now.
think we should. Chelsea, it's been a good show.
Yeah.
And thank you, everybody, for all your votes for the fan favorites.
And thank you for all your kind words. I feel like this week, a lot of people have reached out saying thank you. So thank you all for listening. Bye.
Bye.